everybody a quick freaking 30-second clip, indeed, what I'm talking about. So everybody go ahead and check this out.
New at 6, a Jonesboro man was arrested in Poinsett County after deputies said he was pointing a gun at people as they drove past him on Highway 49. An incident report said it happened Saturday between Waldenburg and Fisher. Spencer Jones of Jonesboro was arrested on drugs and firearm charges, including aggravated assault. He remains in the Poinsett County Detention Center.
Spencer, that's tough to watch, brother. Pending 7 felony charges. Obviously, you are at the point now where, hopefully the wake up is now in effect for you. So let me ask you that question. When you're confronted with these extreme circumstances, did you feel like you were, going to take action in ownership of the bad judgment calls that you were making?
Absolutely. So since that incident happened, it definitely was rock bottom. Thank you for saying that. It was the worst thing in my life by far. Literally from hero to zero. Couldn't be a better example of it. But first on Jones, I'm never going to give up. I'm never going to quit. I'm Spencer Jones. The discipline and spirit and drive and never quit. It was instilled in me by my parents, and expounded upon by my drill instructors. A lot of times when I'm struggling, I'll picture them yelling at me. I'll never quit. I'll never give up. So with that, I got counsel and figured out what to do, and I got the help I needed for substance abuse. I started off with, I didn't really have a choice.
Yeah. Well, you do have a choice. You always have a choice.
No, with the first place I went to, Oxford Treatment Center, because I went from jail to rehab. And then I went, I kind of want to mention Tom Painter started calling me, second tracks guy. He had been through this awesome program in Texas. He started hitting me up. I had been only at Oxford Treatment Center for 2 days. And I didn't believe him. I didn't want to leave. I'm like, man, this place isn't that bad. The food sucks, but the instruction's pretty good. I don't want to move on my stuff and start over. And he just kept on and on and on and on and on me to go to this other place. And I think Mark's going to kind of highlight some of the actual best. It's the best recovery center in the United States by far.
So for all the veterans out there, when Spencer was talking about the treatment center he went through, it's called Warrior's Heart. And rather than just, hear it, through our words, I'd like to actually show you a visual a little bit and show you a little bit about their facility. Because I'll tell you, man, if you're out here, and you are watching, Spencer's story and you feel like, maybe that, you're in those dangerous waters too, I want you to see that this place is legit and it's really, really awesome. So let's go ahead and play it.
It's at a DNA level where there's 2 things for sure is I'll never quit and I'll never ask for help. And that's not anything from an ego perspective. It's just, hey, I'm the guy that is going to help. How did I end up in a situation where I'm the guy that needs help now? PTS, my version of it that I mainly talk about is it's just unprocessed trauma. And then most of the trauma that we're talking about are things that just don't fit, like when kids get killed, or bad car wrecks, obvious things that happen in combat.
I believe the hardest thing we face trying to get folks to enroll with Warrior's Heart is, maybe their families are scared to reach out to Warrior's Heart and let us know that they need help. The individuals a lot of times don't want to reach out.
We have folks that are coming to us in the absolutely most lowest points they've ever been in their lives. How people reach us at Warrior's Heart is through family members and through loved ones that are looking out for them, because I'm not going to let my team down. I'm not going to reach out and ask for help. Our motto is that we take care of those that take care of us. What I mean by that is, from 9/11 to a 911 call, these are the folks, our protectors, who we call in our hours of greatest need, our family members, whether it's a medical, whether it's our nation. These are the folks that we call, and they protect us and they take care of us. But at the end of the day, when the work is done and all that hard work is done, is who's taking care of them. Most of the time it's no one, or either they're trying to take care of themselves. So at Warrior's Heart, we take care of them. We always talk about, hey, what's going to kill us first? Those that are struggling. There's several organizations that are out there that are doing incredible work with PTS, and there's several organizations out there helping out with TBI, with traumatic brain injury. The deal with all of those programs is you have to be sober to attend those programs and affect the healing that occurs at them. So if we have a portion of our population that is struggling with chemical dependencies and self-medication, they can't even attend those because they know they're not going to be able to make it without taking a drink, without taking a drug, whatever they're using to hide all the trauma and the things that they need to process, a lot of it through on the job. The next thing is that the curriculum that we do out there is very intense. We keep them busy all the time. One of the aspects of healing, is the creative process. So in our shop, when they go in for creative therapy and stuff, it's welding and it's grinding and it's steel and stone, and woodworking. So it's hard work, and it gives that therapeutic effect without them knowing it, just doing hard work. There's a couple of bass lakes out there where guys go fishing, and again, it reminds them, they'll be out there fishing thinking, man, I remember when I used to love to fish, you know what I mean? Or it's something new that they find out that, wow, I really love it. Because we need all those breaks during the day for them, because the work that we do out there is really intense on the clinical side.
If you're looking at what you'll take away from Warrior's Heart, you're going to become more acquainted with other law enforcement, military folks, first responders. They're going to be people that you can start caring about. You probably take a little bit of the caring and pass it on to other people rather than sitting at home worrying about yourself. Get rid of that addiction, try to treat some of the other problems that you might have, but then get back in the mission. Have a mission where you focus on achieving that mission. And right now, for a lot of us, I'm retired military, my mission isn't to go on the battlefield anymore. My mission is trying to help take care of those that are around us, try to have a good job, take care of my family. So let's get focused back on the mission and stop worrying about ourselves so much.
When guys and gals come out to Warrior's Heart, it's a minimum 42-day stay. 6 weeks is the minimum. We call it a course that they come out and do, because nobody wants to go to rehab, but we've all gone to courses in our careers. So this is a place where we come out and they receive their training on how not to drink and use drugs, and learn how to control and process their emotions so they in turn won't need to. So whenever it comes to what we're doing out there, just like everything else in life as we know it, it's either trained or untrained. That's what it boils down to. One of the narratives that we're trying to change is that most of the time you hear, whenever it comes to TBI and PTS, and then you add drugs and alcohol to that mix, they just start talking about it's such a complex problem. It's very complex. No, it's not. There are complex psychological issues. That's why we go at great pains in the selection process to make sure that folks come out there within our level of care. Once they are within our level of care and they come out, we get them trained up. And it's all about getting them back into the fight, whether that's in their jobs that they've came from, or getting them back into the fight of life and truly living their lives for the first time in a long time. The number one way to get in touch with folks at Warrior's Heart is warriorsheart.com. If you go to that site, the phone number is going to pop up, and then dial in that phone number will get you straight into admissions and the person that you need to talk to.
Warrior's Heart, that looks like an excellent, treatment facility, Spencer. So can you share a little bit about, your journey through Warrior's Heart?
I walked into that place. Tom Painter, his word is gold to me. I believed him 100%. But when I got to that place, it was the first time since I left Camp Pendleton, or MCRD San Diego. First time I went to Marine Corps base that I felt like when I walked up in there that I was on base. And the crew coming up to you, hey,
comfortable.
Just the veterans coming. And when they're talking to you, I can't explain it here because we have a lot of National Guard here, so I just don't feel like it's the same language. It's just to say, you walk up there talking and it just flows and everything's, you're comfortable. And, it's set up like a base. There's a PX. It's just like either some of it's like a base, and some of it's like a ship. It was just great. There was never a time that I walked up to somebody, or most of the time people were walking up to me because I was new. How are you doing? You're okay. And when you walk up to that place, their motto is welcome home. So everybody that you see says welcome home. And I didn't like that at first because I'm like, this ain't my home. And my home is in my mama's house in 1988. That's my home in my mind. But it really is like home, man. Like it's a special place. It's magical. It's mystical. There's a lot of spiritual things that go on there every single day. Healing. What better environment to do that in if you're a veteran as around other veterans, because you need to guard with, like Tom Swinner says in the video, it's not because we're special, it's because we can establish a bond just because we're all veterans. Instant bond, instant credibility, with each other. And that's going to take you way ahead of anywhere else. Just because of that.
I agree. And so many has had very similar experiences as well. And when you're around, people who have had, those similar incidents happen, they have the similar trauma that you have, you always feel more comfortable, and you just feel, you don't feel like you're being judged. You feel like you can speak your mind and just be open and honest about things. That's got to be a very gratifying feeling for you. So let's,
they gave me,
go ahead.
They gave me every tool I needed to come out of that place. There's a saying around there that you can be successful and take your toolbox with you, which is all the things they teach you there. Or you can drop your toolbox at the gate, like a lot of people do, and then you'll come back and pick it up and come back in to the place. But I learned so much at that place. I think the most valuable thing they taught me was that relapse is okay. Relapse is okay. So, because if relapse isn't okay, then if I do relapse, then I'm just gonna throw my towel, my books up in the air. I'm a fuck up, and I can't do this, and I'm just gonna go right back to you, and I'm gonna give up everything that I just learned instead of regroup, reassess. I feel like you have to expect relapse, and you have to be ready for it. Just like in a combat situation, you have to be ready for the enemy to do anything. And just because they kill 3 Marines or they pull an ID on you, well, that doesn't mean you quit and you keep going. And you can still win the fight. Yeah. And that's what's hard to get across to a lot of people. And that's, I'm burning in my brain that one time I relapsed, I did have to go to a detox, but I felt like I came out of it fully ready to go. I had a little hiccup, and I was sober for about 76 days, something like that. So
good for you,
since
man.
That day. So, and maybe I'll relapse again. Maybe I will. If I do, the next time will be in 20 days. I'll get better and better and better. But I will win the fight.
All right, Spencer. So you're on the road to recovery. You've been clean now for 76 days. So for you, I know you got some surgeries coming up and stuff, but like, how are you doing? Like, I understand you're clean. That's a big win. But like, are you clean and you just still not feel right? Or are you feeling better? What's your psyche like?
That way, because that's exactly the way it is. Some people can be, you can be clean all you want to and be depressed and miserable and awaiting relapse right around the corner. I feel great. Again, Warriors Heart gave me a lot of the tools. The gym is my staple. If I don't go to the gym at 6:30 or 7, my day kind of falls apart. And with that, I'll say the importance of a schedule or keeping yourself busy, keeping yourself with new goals. And you talked about this sergeant major one time. I think we were doing with Colonel Palmer, you had just got back off leave and there had been a bunch of DUIs, an officer DUIs, but we were still talking about it with everyone. And you got up there and you start talking about the importance of goals and objectives in life. And you talked about the drive to work. And I remember that resonating with me. One of the things that I enjoyed about living away from work is you get to have goals and objectives. And that is very, very, very important. It's actually key to sobriety because it keeps you on track and it gives you a sense of well-being. Gives you a sense that you're doing the right thing and the things that you're supposed to do. We heard the Navy commander talk about making your bed. Personally, that's the same along the same lines of that thought process of having a schedule, having a routine. I'm absolutely doing great. I still struggle with the guilt of, tarnishing the Marine Corps' name. But I know fully that I will atone myself for that somehow, some way, whether it be Purple Heart organization or, Marine Corps League or something like that around in the community. I just got to get this under my belt right away. And I'll start knocking that out. But, I'm determined and nothing's going to stop me.
The Marine Corps and the Marine Corps. Absolutely, man. The Marine Corps, your brothers and sisters are always going to wrap their arms around you. I don't think that I can at least speak for the circle, of trust that, we have within the people that are in ours, that I've never heard anybody, say anything, negative about you or say, what the F is up with that. It's just kind of been like, hey, man, went through some friggin' hard times and we got them. So that whole loyalty piece is just incredibly important to me. I know it's important to you. And, I
struggle with that, taking that too seriously, having friends. So you have friends in the community or wherever, and the things you're expecting out of your squad leaders or your fire team leaders or whatever, where they do every single thing that you say, right? And you don't even, a well-oiled machine or a well-oiled unit that's seasoned, that squad leader can just say a couple things or maybe even just make some gestures, and he knows that stuff's going to get done. And I struggle with translating that to civilian here. I got to lower my expectations, and that's not just with loyalty, it's with everything. It bothers me, and I get pissed off about it, and control me, and I shouldn't. And a lot of me, I tell myself that's not my fault. I just need more time. I was in the Marine Corps for 21 years. It's a certain way. I was a drill instructor for 7 out of those 21. Things were wired tight on the depot. I just need a little bit more time than the average Joe to get back to civilian. I'll get there.
You're right, man. Dude, not just as drill instructors, but just as being a staff NCO in the Marine Corps. You're just used to setting conditions, and just magical things freaking happen when you put people in motion. You explain, what it is you're supposed to be doing. You pump them up, you motivate them. It's just not that way, dude. Not in Arkansas, not here in Virginia. It's not that way in Massachusetts where I grew up. And you just have to do the best you can to integrate.
I can call my neighbor a piece of shit in about 3 seconds and call him this shit again for something else. And he doesn't even know because his grass isn't mowed the right way or something. I don't know. It's just, I feel like I'm used to it on Gran Torino. Sometimes. But I'm just for the audience, I'm doing well.
Good.
I am coming out of the woods. Lions and tigers and bears are behind me. But I did it. To explain it all to you that know me, it was, I partied. The next thing I know, I'm in handcuffs and I got to deal with all this. And then when I'm in handcuffs and I wake up, I'm like, well, this ain't that big of a deal. I still think I had a problem. Because it just hits you so fast and things change so fast. You can't believe it. I'm First Sergeant Jones still. Like sitting in jail, I'm like, I'm First Sergeant Jones. I did all this, and this. Well, no, they don't care. And you're not First Sergeant Jones anymore. You're Spencer. Civilian that's retired. You're not him anymore. And if you want to be him, then you got to re-earn that. And
that's right.
That would be my number one thing to take away from transition is, and you can say it to your blue in the face to people until you experience, you should know that you're starting off as a 0. Like, everything you do in the military, they'll say thank you for your service and stuff, but it doesn't really matter. Like, you start off at zero and you have to earn your keep. Again, in the community, whether it be the community or job, it just depends on the setting that's in the scenario. But I didn't do that. I was like, you tell people you're a first sergeant and around here, and you get a lot of respect for it. And I abused that, and I've used it till I got arrested, and then it didn't matter.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, hey, the good part is, Spencer, that you did have that epiphany. You realized you had a problem, and that you took the appropriate steps to deal with it. Because there's a lot of people out there that don't. When they hit rock bottom, they just keep hitting rock bottom over and over and over again. And I'm just very grateful that you're in the state of condition that you're in now, and that you are on a path to recovery and to redemption. It's going to be hard, as you know. You learned that through your recovery. It's going to be challenging, but you're going to be all right, dude. Those intangibles you learned in the Marine Corps, it's very important that you keep those right at the forefront of your mind. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to do everything I can, to keep fighting.
Never quit, never give up.
That's right. Senior drill instructor speech, buddy. So I got one more for you. Go ahead. No, go ahead, dude. Please.
I just want to throw in there, I think something that would have countered my problems is I was set up so good financially that I didn't have a plan. I didn't need a plan, man. I'm hired at Wayne Hospital. You remember me saying that?
Yeah.
I was like, and you were like, yeah, I don't need a plan. But you still can't be complexity kills. If I would have had a plan, like the finances right now is what's killing me and killing my relationship, my wife. I make money from my retirement and and all that. But when I quit that job, a whole another aspect comes in there. But if I would have had a plan, like TRS told me to have, and then the second plan, and the third plan, if I would have taken that seriously, would I even be in this situation? No, not the financial piece.
So here's my takeaway from it, Spencer. In addition to your comments, I'll say this, that, of all the retirees that I know, military type, not a one of them that I know had a problem finding a job. Not one. But I will tell you, man, like, your thoughts, your feelings, and your emotions, the same ones that I've been talking about in the podcast, my previous podcast guests have been talking about, and the ones that you just talked about, we all depart with those same feelings and those same emotions, but yet we refuse to go unpack it. We refuse to go talk about, the trauma. That, to me, that is the ultimate takeaway for anybody out here who's watching this. While you're on active duty, go and friggin' have those conversations with professionals. Go and have those conversations with your leaders. Have those conversations with your family without embarrassment. Have them, because they're going to make you feel better. It's going to prepare you for the part in the military.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Last thing for you that I'm going to toss over to you, Spencer, is, I'd like to give you the opportunity in order to give a shout out to whoever it is that you would like to shout out.
I'd like to give a shout out to, I've already mentioned them in here, but I just want to make sure I bring them up again. Masson Burrell, Chris Burrell, as a young corporal,
yes.
I wouldn't have known anything that I know today if it wasn't for him. And then I want to bring up Lieutenant Colonel Bearlady, best battalion commander I had by far. How he kind of relates to this as he went to bat for me.
Yep.
As far as character reference, where he didn't have to, put his rank on. And it went far. It went very far with prosecutor and how my charges kind of panned out, and my lawyer, and all that stuff. And he's continued to keep in contact with me. A lot of times you don't know it when you just say one or two things to someone. Hey man, good job, or somebody here's good job. That's a lot of energy for 2 or 3 days if you don't, rather than if you don't say it. Just checking in on me, just telling me just your low. You check in on me, and I don't think we fully realize how much impact that has because we're not in that person's shoes. There's been a lot of times I was like extremely depressed, and you text me, "Hey man, I'm just checking to see how you're doing," and I was like down, super down, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I got my Marine brothers, and everything's going to be okay. It just brings you back up. So we need to keep doing it, and do it more.
Totally agree with you.
100%. And then I think Master Painter. I want to bring up Tom Painter. We've been friends since we went on view together. I beat his ass because he went to Taco Bell and spilled a bunch of tacos on the floor, and I told him, clean that up. So I don't step in it. We're on ship, right? So, it's in the floor. And he didn't clean it up. So when I got up to 06 or whatever time it was, 05, and I got stepped in tacos, sour cream, and I was pretty mad. But he had a huge black eye, and then we blamed it on the back out to the vehicle, and then that went up there and told the platoon commander together. But we've been brothers for a long time, and then he got to bring it home with, putting in Warrior's Heart. And he's actually now doing himself. He has a boat, and he takes out veterans that are struggling with PTSD.
Good.
Yeah, so one of my main things for things I struggle with getting angry with transition pieces of getting out of the Marine Corps, and is I expect too much loyalty out of people. So I was used to a certain amount of loyalty within the Marine Corps, and it's been very difficult for me to let go of that. I think so. Expecting that out of normal people is absurd and asinine and all these things, because they didn't lay down fire next to someone and need that level of trust that we had. So that's something that's something I get butthurt about, and then I catch myself getting butthurt about it, and I'm like, you're butthurt about something you shouldn't be butthurt about, but it's too late now. I'm already pissed off. And it continues to happen. So, I need to correct that. That's one of the main things I need to correct.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, there's this old saying that goes, if you don't expect anything out of anybody, you'll never be disappointed.
Exactly.
Right. I kind of try to be that way.
Yeah. To the point where I'm like, I'm just going to do it because ain't nobody else going to do it. Even if I pay you, I'm going to do it. And that's the problem that I have with, loyalty. So.
Hey man, we can wrap it up here. Spencer, I'll let you get back to your evening. Hey, thank you for your courage. And thank you for, sharing, your journey of, the highs and the lows, because, not everybody's departure is the same, and it can be very, very painful and be very, very lonely. And I think this is a story that, that people need to hear,
Absolutely.
And, you didn't wear a mask, and that's what I appreciate, the most about why you're on here. You didn't wear the mask, everything's great, living a dream, this and that. And the only thing I would offer to you, I talk to you all the time anyway, but just continue to chip away. Being clean is one thing, but just continue to chip away at the mental health aspect piece and the integration piece on trying to be just kind of weave into society a little bit better, because you're going to be getting hired by that solar company soon, and you want to go in there and do a really good job, not go in there, get pissed off, break all the china in the shop, and then friggin' be looking for another job, right?
Get that cigarette butt up right now.
Well, that's okay. Littering's bad. I know. But no, man, it's been real.
Thank you.
It's been awesome. And, to the viewers out there, I hope you enjoyed, listening to Spencer and, him being real with us today. And if you wouldn't mind keeping him in your prayers, so that way, he can continue to be uplifted through his journey, we'd greatly appreciate it. And until the next episode, I appreciate you all so much. Thank you for all your support, and go out there and try to live your best life. Press the gas. Have a good one, guys. Take care.